Welcome back to the deep dive. Have you ever wondered how someone from, well, a really unassuming background could rise up to become this profound spiritual guide? Someone revered by scholars, but also just ordinary people.
It's quite something.
Today, we're taking an illuminating journey, a deep dive into the extraordinary life of Sheikh Rajab Ali Khayat.
It's truly remarkable, isn't it? We're looking at a man known affectionately as the Tailor Sheikh.
Right, the tailor?
Yeah. But his simple life was just this masterclass in devotion, sincerity, and, well, profound compassion. Our mission for you today is really to distill the core principles that guided him.
Not just guided, but transformed his life.
Exactly. Showing how seemingly ordinary actions can lead to, well, extraordinary spiritual insights. You'll find some surprising facts, I think, and wisdom that really cuts through all the noise we deal with today.
Okay, let's start right at the beginning then. Trace his path. Rajab Ali was born in Tehran, 1262 Hijri. That's around 1846 Gregorian. Son of a simple laborer, mashadi baker. But then, tragically, he lost his father at just 12.
Only 12.
Yeah, suddenly responsible for supporting his siblings. I mean, talk about an early start to adulthood. You can't help but think how that kind of responsibility so young must have shaped him.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, those humble beginnings, they weren't a barrier. They were actually foundational. There's this fascinating story his mother told.
Oh, yeah.
During her pregnancy with him, she felt this kind of restlessness, an unusual feeling. And instinctively, she questioned the food her husband brought home.
Really? Why?
Well, it turned out he'd acquired it without proper permission. Maybe unknowingly, but still. And she refused to eat it.
Wow.
And the sheikh himself, later in life, he deeply attributed his own spiritual purity, his sort of inclination towards the divine to that moment, to his mother's integrity.
So like a prenatal influence.
Exactly. It just highlights how profound those early influences can be, the choices people around us make, even then.
That is a powerful detail. And he didn't just, endure his circumstances. He seemed to embrace them. Lived in the same simple, inherited mud brick house his whole life.
Modest.
But this anecdote about his tenant that really struck me, he rented a room to a taxi driver, Nadala Mashadi, for just 20 tomans a month. Peanuts, really, even then.
Right.
Then Yadala's wife has a baby girl. The sheikh actually named her Mazuma. And what does he do? He reduces the rent to 18 tomans.
Reduces it.
Yes. He tells Yadala, look, now your expenses have increased. So instead of 20, pay 18. It's such a beautiful blend of practicality and this deep, unprompted compassion. It makes you stop and think.
Indeed. And that wasn't just, a one-off kindness. It really reflects his detachment from worldly things, his awareness of others.
It seems consistent.
Very consistent. Like when his own son, doing better financially, offered to buy him a newer house, the sheikh just said, this place is good for me. If you want a new house, go buy one for yourself.
Yeah, straight to the point.
Totally. Even when, say, high-ranking officials came to visit, he insisted they meet in his little room. Just a simple kilim rug, his old sewing table, no special treatment, no fuss. His life mirrored his teachings. True spiritual wealth, not material comfort. You have to wonder, what did it take to maintain that detachment?
It's a huge challenge for most of us, isn't it? That kind of inner freedom is rare. Okay, so moving from home life to his work, his profession was tailoring. That's where the name comes from. Khayat, tailor.
Sheikh Rajab Ali Khayat.
Right, but he didn't just see it as a job, a way to make money. He saw it as a spiritual path, a way to God. He'd even say, Luqman Hakim chose this profession for himself.
Referencing the wise sage.
Giving the craft real nobility.
Yeah, elevating it. For him, the work itself was devotion.
And that perspective really shows the spiritual value he put on honest work. He wasn't just saying it, he lived it. He embodied that hadith. God loves to see his servant tired in seeking lawful sustenance.
Tired from honest work. Exactly. There's a story, quite poignant. A friend found him working, looking really pale, weak, urged him to rest.
And what did he say?
His response was just, what about my wife and children? It wasn't just about provision, it was a sacred duty, linked to that other hadith, cursed is he who neglects his dependents.
So work wasn't separate from worship?
Not at all. It was integral, a channel for his devotion.
Yeah.
It makes you think, in our modern world, this struggle with work-life balance, how could we bring some of that sacredness back into our jobs?
That's a deep question. And it wasn't just that he worked, but how? His fairness insaf was legendary. He charged for tailoring based strictly on the effort involved, never taking advantage. There's this amazing story. He quoted 40 tomans for a job, thinking it'd take 2 days.
Okay.
But he finished it in 1 day. So what did he do? He automatically cut the price to 20 tomans.
Just like that.
Yeah. His explanation. I thought it would take 2 days of work. I mean, can you imagine that level of integrity today?
Right.
In business? It's almost unheard of.
You're absolutely right. His whole life was just this practical demonstration of insaf, fairness, justice, woven into the everyday. These weren't big public acts.
Yeah,
Small everyday things, but for him, they were acts of worship, deeply significant. He even used his sewing machine as a metaphor.
How so?
He'd say, just like every part of the machine has the maker's mark, every action of a believer should have God's mark, meaning done purely for God. It challenges you, doesn't it? Are our daily tasks just tasks? Or can they be something more?
That's a beautiful way to see it. Finding the divine in the mundane. And this leads us right to his core teaching, the real kimia, the alchemy.
Ah, yes, ikhlas.
Ikhlas,
Yeah.
sincerity, doing everything solely for God. He put it so simply. Everything is good, but for God. He said, before you do anything at all, pause, ask, is this for God or is it for my ego? For praise, worldly gain?
That constant self-check.
It's powerful, isn't it? How hard must that be moment to moment?
Incredibly hard, because it extends to everything. The most mundane things. He taught, you must have a pure intention in everything, even eating and sleeping.
Eating and sleeping.
Yeah. He'd say, look, if you drink a cup of tea intending to get strength to worship God or serve people, your heart gets illuminated by that simple act.
Ah, I see.
But if you just drink it for pleasure, for yourself, it's just tea. No spiritual uplift. The intention transforms it. It's not what you do, it's why.
That distinction changes everything. He once asked a young seminary student this really probing question.
What was that?
He asked, do you want to be a scholar or a human being? He wasn't knocking scholarship, obviously.
Oh, of course not.
But he was saying that becoming a true human being, someone living with deep humanity, sincerity, awareness of God, that was the higher goal, the more complete goal. And he'd use these phrases like sow for God, come for God, love for God, even kiss for God.
Wow, even that.
Yeah. Driving home that every action, intimate or trivial, should be dedicated to the divine. What might change in our own life, our relationships, if we really tried to live that way?
That's an excellent question. And it points to the benefits of this kind of, well, radical sincerity. He taught, whoever is for God, God is for him. Well, he believed it meant God's special guidance, divine education, help against Satan's temptations. These are the fruits of ikhlas. But maybe the most profound benefit he mentioned was the opening of the inner eye.
The Chashmidel.
That's it, Chashmidel. He said, if one guards their heart, lets only God in, their inner eye will open. They'll see and hear what others can't. It's not physical sight, you understand.
It's a spiritual perception.
Exactly. A deep, intuitive knowing of unseen realities.
And he shared a personal story about this, right? About his own transformation.
He did. Very powerful. Stemming from one moment of intense ikhlas, he was 23, faced a serious temptation involving a beautiful relative. Instead of giving in, he resisted, cried out, my God, I'm leaving this sin for you, so you train me for yourself.
Just like that, a conscious choice for God.
A profound choice. And in his own words, that single act, that sincerity, it was like a 100-year journey in one night. His inner eye opened.
Instantly.
It seems so. From then on, he started perceiving people's true spiritual space, their inner forms. He famously said once, one day I walked from Malabi to Golobandak, 2 places in Tehran, and saw only one human face.
Meaning only one person whose inner self was truly human, aligned with God.
Precisely. Unmarred by ego, by worldliness. It just shows how rare he felt that true sincerity was.
Wow. That brings us to another pillar of his teaching, closely linked to sincerity. Esasan.
Ah, benevolence, kindness to all creation.
Yes. He declared, the secret of creation is benevolence to creation. He believed quite strongly that if you want to grasp the truth of Tawhid, God's absolute oneness,
The core of faith.
you have to show it through kindness, through charity, towards everything God created. And what's fascinating is how he made this real tangible.
He didn't just talk about it, did he? He lived it. He told a companion once, if you want to find the truth of Tawhid, be kind to God's creation. He added that benevolence actually makes the heavy burden of Tawhid easier to bear.
Interesting. So our actions towards others directly impact our own spiritual understanding.
That's the connection he made. Our compassion, our generosity, they're linked to our spiritual ascent, our grasp of God's oneness. Theology isn't just in the head, it's in how we treat the world.
It's embodied.
Exactly. And his perception, it went deep. He saw people's hidden needs. Remember that story about the rice?
Vaguely. Tell me again.
He woke his son, middle of the night, told him to secretly take 2 sacks of rice to a neighbor who seemed, well off.
Secretly?
Yes. Then, next morning, he tells his own wife to buy cheap, half-broken rice for their lunch.
Why?
Later, they found out the neighbor had gone bankrupt. Totally broke, but trying to hide it. The sheikh perceived it. His compassion was discreet. He saved the neighbor from shame. It was always for God, never for show, and always respected the person's dignity.
That's a key point, respecting dignity. He also taught that feeding the poor purely for God has a special property, right? More than just giving cash.
A spiritual quality to the act itself. He even linked this principle, Ihsan, to meeting Imam Mahdi, the awaited imam in Shia belief.
How so?
He told a scholar who was seeking the imam about an old lockmaker. This lockmaker refused to buy a poor woman's lock for less than it was worth. In fact, he gave her more than she asked.
What?
Because, he said, I cannot buy a Muslim's property cheaply. Simple justice. The sheikh then revealed that the imam himself appeared to the scholar right then, saying, be like this, be a Muslim. Your work, your piety, meaning your fairness, your character, not just rituals, are what will make us come to you.
Wow. Actions over empty rituals. That's profound.
It shows the highest spiritual goals aren't separate from basic human decency and justice. Which brings us back to the insights he gained from his inner eye.
Right. His awakened perception. It gave him this incredible wisdom, didn't it? Insight into hidden states, spiritual consequences.
He saw beyond the surface, into the spiritual reality beneath things.
And these weren't just like party tricks or miracles to show off.
No. Not miracles in the sense of breaking natural laws. More like seeing the spiritual mechanics of the universe that most of us miss. For instance, he saw Satan kissing the spot where someone scratched themselves during prayer.
Really? What does that mean?
It illustrated how subtle distractions are planted, their source. Another time, he saw a man's spiritual light, his halo, just vanish instantly after the man got angry right after praying.
Showing the immediate cost of anger.
Exactly. The tangible spiritual consequence. What stands out to you about these glimpses?
It's the immediacy, the direct cause and effect on a spiritual level that we usually ignore. He applied this to small things too, like eating.
He did. He told a student once the student ate half a loaf of bread, was satisfied, but then ate the other half anyway. The sheikh said eating that extra bit after hunger was gone caused a spiritual veil to fall over his heart. Just that small excess.
It dims the inner light.
That's the idea. And remember his challenge to the famous wrestler, Asghar Agapalavan?
What was that again?
If you are a great wrestler, wrestle with your ego. A direct call to the real battle, the inner one.
Powerful. He wasn't afraid to be direct.
Never, but always to guide, to awaken. There's that other amazing story, the man whose wife was missing for months.
Yeah.
Utterly distraught.
Yeah.
He consults the sheikh, who just tells him, immediately, your wife is in America. She'll be back in 2 weeks.
And she did.
She returned exactly then. It shows this extraordinary vision, knowledge beyond normal ways. He'd also prescribed specific dhikrs, remembrances of God for different problems.
Like spiritual prescriptions?
Kind of. For overcoming ego, for seeking closeness to the imam, really integrating the spiritual into everyday life challenges.
So, thinking about all this, what does it mean for you, listening now, in your own life? Sheikh Rajab Ali Khayat, this humble tailor, he showed us a path.
A clear path.
Where every action, every single intention can become spiritually significant. Paying fair prices, helping a neighbor discreetly, resisting temptation, loving God. His life just reminds us that real spiritual growth starts small.
Not in grand gestures.
No. It starts in the sincerity of our everyday choices, bringing the sacred into the ordinary.
And his focus, that unwavering focus on ikhlas, sincerity, and ihsan, benevolence, plus constant remembrance of God, that's what let him see the hidden realities, live in harmony with them. He taught your value is as much as your desire.
Explain that.
If you desire God, your value is God. If you desire the world, your value is what you desire. It's about where you place your ultimate value.
Where your heart is.
Exactly. And he also said, God has no partners. Meaning true devotion has to be exclusive. Any division in the heart, seeking other validation besides God's, diminishes that connection. It's a call for undivided focus.
A really powerful thought to leave you with, directly from the Sheikh, about finding true purpose. The true alchemy is the attainment of God himself.
Which suggests, doesn't it, that the real treasure isn't out there somewhere. It's not in possessions or even isolated spiritual feats. It's an internal transformation intention, love, service, making God the absolute focus. So maybe ask yourself, what might change starting today if before every important action you genuinely asked, is this truly for God?